Yo, peace. Today I want to talk about how to open the third eye. See, this is a thing that requires a lot of intimate attention because it's not what most people think it is. See, the average person who knows about the third eye, they think they're going to open the third eye and they're going to see into multiple dimensions and do all kind of amazing, crazy shit, which is true, but they don't really talk about the opposite side of it, and that's what I want to speak on. So you have to know what you're signing up for. They say ignorance is bliss for a reason, and that's true. Because when your third eye is open, you're seeing into the good, bad, and ugly natures of everything around you. You get what I'm saying? You are gazing into the past, the present, and the future. And most of the time, it may not be what you want to see, but it is what it is. For example, you may look deep into a person's reality, and you can see all the problems they have, why they have it, where it comes from, where it's going. You will be able to pretty much read a person's full life story just by looking into their eyes, just by interacting with them. And they may have several addictions. They may have things that they may not have told you, but you can see it, you can feel it. So this is not always the most exciting thing to see, like when you open yourself up to all these type of dimensions, because to open your third eye, you are basically saying, I want to be a multi-dimensional being, be able to gaze into multiple dimensions simultaneously. Now, this means the realm of the angels and the realm of the devils. So you can see the greatest qualities and potentials of people, as well as the most devastating things you can ever imagine, all at the same time. And you have to somehow remain in the middle without casting judgment, because this illusion that people are either all good or all bad is false. Everybody has a dualistic nature to them, and you will be able to see both simultaneously. And you have to make a decision based on what you see. As opposed to the average person, they may only see one aspect. Either they label a person as a good person or a bad person. They don't really label people as neutral people. We are all neutral people. You get what I'm saying? Like, to open your third eye means you no longer react to life. You create life. You become a creator, not a reactor. You're not somebody who wakes up in the morning and complains about how fucked up their day is going to be. You're someone who wakes up in the morning and create their day, meaning you feel how you want to feel, not how your situation is making you feel, not how the illusions are making you feel. Whatever reaction you want to get from reality, you know how to manipulate reality and get your desired results, because it's all based on a certain sequence or a process that you will be able to perceive once you become multidimensional. Now, before I go any further, I'll give a couple techniques. So it's not just me talking about it, this is how you actually do it. What worked for me is, not only was it just meditation in complete darkness, even if I'm not in complete darkness, I put a scarf around my eyes so that I can, whenever I want to perceive complete darkness, I can just put that on at any point of the day, no matter where I am, and just pretty much practice divination. See, the third eye just represents being able to see beyond the surface. When you see a number sequence, 541 or whatever, you're not looking at 541. You're looking at planets. You're looking at gods. You're looking at certain qualities of self. You're not just looking at numbers. You're not just looking at letters. You're looking at multiple things that they can represent. Now, of course, it could represent someone's address, of course, but depending on that certain sequence is going to determine what goes on within that household. Because you got a 5, you got a 4, and a 1, and they all represent a certain planet, a certain energy. So it's a alchemical creation of a certain energy. You get what I'm saying? So you would be able to better understand why that certain household has certain problems and not other problems. You get what I'm saying? Like what is the positive aspects and what are the negative aspects? You would be able to look at it as a completely balanced house or whatever the case is. You get what I'm saying? So you're looking deeper into the numbers, you're looking deeper into the letters. So meditation in complete darkness, or use a scarf and go into complete darkness. Have a divination system already ready, meaning, for example, today is the 17th. 1 and 7 represents something. It can either be the sun and K2, which is the dark side of the moon. It can be knowledge and God. It can be the letter A and the letter G, which is Allah, God. You get what I'm saying? Whatever the system of divination you work with, you go straight into your divination system. You can pull out tarot cards. You can see what particular planets represent 1 and 7. Like, you can go into astrology. You can go as deep as you want to go. Long as you go into some form of divination, you look beyond the numbers and look beyond the letters and look beyond the events. And this takes courage, because you're not going to always see what you want to see. But you have to still have the courage. You will have to have the courage to see beyond the darkness, to pierce the darkness and go into your imagination. To be able to transmute negative situations into positive situations. There's no such thing as a negative or a positive situation. It's just based on how you perceive it. And we should all strive to see situations as neutral. Don't get attached to the positive or negative, because both aspects are always around. So if you know there will always be a positive charge and always be a negative charge, you know that every situation is neutral. It's our emotions that make us think differently, but remember, your emotions are pretty much illusions. It's how you feel within yourself based on what you know, based on what you experience. That may or may not be truth. Every truth is a half-truth. So it may disturb you seeing certain things, but it may not disturb the next person. It really just depends on who it is, because we all have a different story. So if we really are ready to look into multiple dimensions of realities simultaneously and see things for how they truly are and not what they appear to be, then by all means, meditate, fast. It's all about detoxing, because we naturally secrete DMT, which is basically what the pineal gland secretes. Pretty much when you are born, if you have a near-death experience, and when you're dying, also when you're dreaming. This is why dreams are kind of hard to remember, because your brain is secreting certain chemicals that make things more vivid, but harder to remember after they happen. Like, for people who ever done DMT, it's like a 5-minute experience, but it's life-changing, and it can be kind of hard to remember. So you have to like write it down. You get what I'm saying? So it's really about, you have to write more, because there's going to be situations happening to you that will be hard to believe. So you have to make sure that you're writing things down, that you're properly recording things. You get what I'm saying? Our third eyes are naturally open. It's because of our lifestyles that they begin to close. So having your third eye open is a natural way of life. So it's not really something that you have to strive to get to. It's something that you have to go back to. You have to go back to when your third eye was open. Meaning before you start eating the bullshit and you start being programmed by all this bullshit system, you go back to your original source, who you were before all of this. who you are, you know where you've been, who you are, and where you're going, it would just make sense that your third eye activates. You can also get some tiger balm and rub it on your third eye. That's like some muscle relaxer or whatever. You can stimulate your third eye. You can tilt your eyes upward towards your third eye and just focus on it. Do some pranayama. Imagine yourself breathing into your right nostril, going up to the third eye, make a little swirl, and come out through your left nostril. And do that for about 10, 15 times. Do a set of them. Know what I mean? Or just breathe deep in general. Because when you become multidimensional, you will need more oxygen because you have to support more energy. The thing is just about raising your energy level, working out, exercising. Just the more you detox, the more your third eye will naturally open. It just happens on its own. It just takes a little concentration and dedication. So I'll probably do a part 2, but it's just really about knowing what it is that you're signing up for. Because for people in this type of lifestyle, it's not the easiest thing. This is not something that you really would strive to want to go to, because you have to look at everything as neutral now. You don't have the luxury of being upset or mad about the world and its problems. You don't have the luxury of complaining like that, because you realize that it's something beyond the surface. So it's a certain lifestyle that you have to take on when you open your third eye. And those who do not want to change their lifestyles end up suffering because of it. So if you're talking about opening your third eye, you're talking about changing your life completely in some instances. This is not something for fun. This is not something that you get to switch on and off at your leisure. It's going to be on when it's on. And if it's not on, it's not on. You don't really get to go back and forth with it. So that's what it is. Open your third eye, become multidimensional, unlock your hidden potentials, be neutral, be a creator, be courageous, and live your life like a god or a goddess, dark spirit, light worker, dark worker, whatever you choose to call yourself, or be absolutely nothing at all, which is perfectly fine. So that's what it is. Let me know if y'all would like more information. Peace. Hotep, hotep, hotep. Yo, I just decided I'm just going to do a part 2 right now. Just going into more detail about having a third eye open and the changes you will experience. I feel like it'll be a good add-on just to kind of give people just an example of what I'm really talking about. So what I mean when you're multi-dimensional is when, let's just say you walk into a room and it may be a party going on, or whatever is going on, you're going to be able to connect with the energy or the subtle vibrations of that room and be able to pick up on exactly what's going on within people's minds. So if you walk into a room and it feels kind of uncomfortable, on the surface it may be as if nothing is wrong, but on the subtle level you can see that certain people do not want to be there, or they're feeling some type of anguish or whatever the case may be. You just will be able to pick up on subtle vibrations. And these subtle vibrations will give you insight into the future. Because if it's a person feeling some type of way about something, eventually it's going to manifest outwardly, because that's just the way thoughts work. So this gives you ability to excuse yourself if needed, or to diffuse the situation before it gets out of hand. You get what I'm saying? So wherever you go, you will be able to see directly into whatever is going on in any given situation. You know exactly what's going on without having to speak to anybody. You get what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to dreams or your imagination will start to reflect certain things that you may not be able to establish a connection with. For example, a name of a god might pop into your head, and you may not know why until you actually look it up and realize, okay, I see why that is. Or I kept seeing a certain animal or a certain symbol, then eventually you find out the name of the deity that's trying to connect with you. Like, okay, that's why I've been seeing that number or that number sequence or that symbol, because it's a deity trying to establish some type of connection with me. Or, in another way of putting it, is you're trying to make yourself aware of certain aspects of yourself. You get what I'm saying? So it's multiple ways to look at it. It's not all about, seeing people's auras and seeing all types of colors and psychedelic shit. You get that too, but what you have to live with on a day-to-day basis is what I'm talking about now. It's like you're a hypersensitive in a sense, because you are able to pick up on literally everything and see things before they happen just by, communicating telepathically. Like, you will be able to communicate with people on a telepathic level. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot that come with it. It's not all just, you just get to do what you want. It's like, having an open third eye makes it easier for you to control your dreams and to lucid dream and to astral travel and astral project, because you'll be ready for what you're going to see. See, most people just think astral traveling and projection, you just get to travel places. No, you get to get access to exclusive information that you must share. Your third eye is not open just for you and your enjoyment. Whatever you see, whatever you perceive, now you are obligated to share it. Because the moment you try to keep it to yourself, you're going to hurt yourself. This is how people become insane or go insane, because they feel like, well, nobody understands, nobody believes me when I tell them these things. So you have to share it. Just like shamans. A shaman has to be a shaman, not because he or she wants to. It's kind of something that you end up doing because it was your calling. Like, a shaman would be able to tell who the new shaman is. It's just something that's within you, something you're born with, something that you were destined to be. So to have an open third eye is to follow your destiny, to be exactly what you're supposed to be. You're not trying to be nothing else but who you are and live the life you're supposed to live. And it may not always be a life that you expect yourself to live. It may not be as honorable as you may think. Sometimes a shaman has to do things a shaman doesn't want to do. You get what I'm saying? You will be in a position to make the hard decisions. You may be called to take someone's life. You may be called to give someone life, or to bring life into this world. You may be called to do all types of things that you may not be comfortable with. You get what I'm saying? But it's all for the cause. It's all for a better way of life. You get what I'm saying? So that's just a quick little example about what to expect, what type of lifestyle you live. You become the healer. You become the guide. You become the judge. You don't just be this person that's sitting in the corner just looking at everything. You have to actually get up and take action now. This is why I speak. I can keep all this information to myself, but I choose not to, because it'll make me go crazy. You get what I'm saying? Like, I have to express this. So that's what it is. If y'all want to know more, let me know. Peace. Hotep. Hotep. Hotep.